Fiat-backed stablecoins unlock one of the smartest ways to earn passive income in crypto with up to 20% APYs and possibly the lowest risk you'll find in the space. And today I'll show you where those juicy yields are hiding. Hi, I'm Linda, and if you want to see more content like this, please consider delegating to my MALU pool or to me as a Cardano DRep. Links are in the description. And a quick reminder, this is not financial advice, just my personal thoughts. Always do your own research. Before we dive into all the yield opportunities, to understand why fiat-backed stablecoins are so safe, let's take a look at how they're made first. For every $1 of fiat-backed stablecoin, there's $1 real sitting in a real bank account as collateral. That gives them a high level of stability and makes them the perfect option to park your crypto gains long-term and hodl safely. The only real risk, if those fiat reserves vanish, either due to mismanagement, regulatory issues, or the bank going under. That's when you're out of luck, but you're actually in luck if they're based in America, because the new Genius Act enforces strict safety measures. Only licensed, regulated issuers are allowed, and if things do go sideways, consumer protection laws kick in. So that should definitely make you sleep a lot easier at night. And now let's get into the passive income opportunities. Cardano has two native fiat-backed stablecoins, USDM by Moneta and USDA by Ansins, and there are a few ways how you can earn passive income with them. One of them is by providing liquidity on one of Cardano's DEXs. Now, when we head over to MinSwap, for example, and click Earn, click Farm and type in USDM. Here we can see a few liquidity pool pairings. We've got 3 stablecoin pairings with 1 or 2% APYs. Now, those pairings are pretty risk-free as they're pure stablecoin pairings, so you won't suffer impermanent loss, but 1 to 2% APY isn't really something you would get excited over. Now, the 10 and 13% APY pairings aren't too shabby, but factoring in the risk of impermanent loss since they're paired with a volatile asset, here ADA and Argon, even 13% APY isn't really worth it in my opinion, especially since there are better options elsewhere. But, still keep an eye on the DEXs regardless. Those APYs could always go up, so just check if the returns are actually worth it, and to make better decisions, you can always use the formula to calculate the impermanent loss. So a much better yield opportunity in my opinion is to lend your stablecoins. This completely removes the risk for impermanent loss, and their inherent stability makes fiat-backed stablecoins also highly sought after in lending protocols. So you can get relatively high yields versus a low risk profile. And here you can actually also accept a lower APY in comparison, as you don't have the impermanent loss aspect to offset. So at this time, Liqwid Finance offers consistently high supply APYs, and you can also check out Danogo. But let's head over to Liqwid first. At time of filming, USDM offers a 15% supply APY and USDA sits at 3%. Now, from my personal experience, I've roughly pulled around 20% APY on average on Liqwid with USDM, so keep in mind that APYs can change for better or for worse. So before you ape in, let's quickly look at the lending metrics so you can be safe, and keep in mind that these metrics will also apply to any token that you want to lend. So the most important metric that you will see is called current utilization, and for USDM it's currently sitting at 67%. So this means that 67% of the supplied USDM is currently being borrowed. Or in other words, 33% of the supplied USDM is liquid. This is a healthy range. It means that there is still liquidity available if you want to withdraw your USDM. So, as a rule of thumb, below 80% it's smooth sailing. Between 80 and 90% you should start watching closely, and above 90% you run the risk of withdrawal delays. The positive news here, the interest rate really pumps up if it goes above 90%, so even if you can't withdraw your funds, you'll be earning a high rate of interest while they're stuck there. And then, of course, others will see the high interest rate and try to take advantage of it, or borrowers will repay their loans, and as a result the utilization rate will drop back down fairly quickly. Now, after that, you want to check the collateral parameters to borrow USDM. When someone borrows USDM on Liqwid, they lock up other tokens as collateral. So in this case, it would be ADA, Copy, Jet, Argon, and so on. Each token has a maximum LTV, meaning the maximum amount they can borrow, and a liquidation threshold, which is when their positions get liquidated. Now, if the LTV is super close to the liquidation point, there's almost no safety margin. So if prices drop even slightly, liquidation has to happen fast, or lenders risk losing money if the asset's value continues to fall. Also, if the liquidation profitability is low, liquidators might not step in, which makes it riskier for lenders. So, in simple speak, if the collateral backing a loan quickly drops in value and it is not liquidated rapidly, the supplier may not be able to get their loaned assets back unless Liqwid steps in to make suppliers whole again. So the bottom line, the closer LTV is to the liquidation threshold and the lower the liquidation rewards, the higher the risk for you as a lender. And let's also look at the yield split here. You get 80% of the interest and the rest supports the protocol's health. Now, with that out of the way, let's lend some of your precious coins. Go to your preferred stablecoin and click Supply. And since I only have USDA in my wallet right now, I'll go ahead with that one. Type in the amount you want to lend, confirm the transaction in your wallet, and receive QUSDA or QUSDM if you supply USDM in return. These Q tokens are basically your receipt. They'll grow in value over time via the interest, and you'll also use them later to withdraw your funds. So don't lose them. Your USDA or USDM is now in the lending protocol, and you'll start earning your APY in USDA or USDM and some LQ tokens on top. You can view your earnings here in the dashboard at any time. Now, to withdraw your USDA or USDM, click Withdraw and you can redeem your QUSDA back into regular USDA, plus your earned interest, same for USDM. So, as you can see, Liqwid has made this entire process super easy. Now, you can also take this further and leverage your stablecoins on Liqwid by what is essentially shorting the market. People call this the infinite money glitch, but it's also incredibly risky. It will only work if the price of ADA goes down or sideways. Otherwise, you will get wrecked. So please be aware of that. This will work for any stablecoin that you buy on the open market, whether that's a fiat-backed, crypto-backed, or algorithmic stablecoin. And here's how it works. And keep in mind that you are absolutely planning on the price of ADA to go down or sideways. Step 1. You buy, let's say, USDM on the open market and supply it on Liqwid. You will then earn 11% interest for lending it. Step 2. You then borrow ADA against the USDM that you have just supplied and pay, let's say, 4% interest for borrowing that ADA. Step 3. You then take that ADA and buy more USDM on a DEX. You will then take that USDM and supply it again on Liqwid and rinse and repeat the process. You can do this over multiple rounds to compound interest payments on Liqwid, but be aware that every time you do this, you magnify your risk, because each round it will take less and less of an ADA price upturn to get yourself liquidated. So again, this is only good if the price of ADA is either stable or going down. If the price of ADA goes up, you'll pretty quickly get liquidated, as your collateral will be swallowed up faster than normal due to the multiple rounds of borrowing against it. So leveraging can amplify both potential gains and risks, so make sure to monitor market conditions closely and be aware of the risks. Now, Danogo is another option to lend your stablecoins. They're a relatively new protocol and offer fixed rate lending and borrowing, and they're also a yield aggregator, which takes advantage of both their own lending protocol as well as any others on Cardano. At the time of filming, only Liqwid and Danogo protocols are available here, but they will integrate any other protocols that pop up on Cardano. So it is definitely worth visiting Danogo, as you might be able to squeeze out just a little bit more APY out of your lending. And that's it, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Feel free to share some of your favorite strategies in the comments, because sharing is caring. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!